Alright gang, I'm just going to go over the quick and dirty on how to kind of use TeamSpeak for New World companies and how to set up your always on push to talk for the shot caller and the just like so you don't have to keep hitting the hotkey while you're trying to stay alive and all that shit. Go over how to set up whisper lists for like a respawn caller so they can do the whole army, and then how each squad should set up their whisper list at the shot caller, right? So to start, this is kind of how I like to have my companies set up. So groups 1 and 2, point teams will all be in one comm together. Got another comm for every group, and then we've got 2 split quad DPS groups. Once we get in fort, I usually have the quad DPS jump into one together when they die, and then do it that way. And then we'll have the respawn caller kind of hang out in the top. Yeah, we're using the one for 2 trailer park girls on Valhalla right now, but you name it whatever you want, doesn't fucking matter. So when you get in here, it's gonna,
Channel switched.
drop you in the top one, and you'll join whatever group you want. Just double
Channel
click, that'll
switched.
move you around. So that'll restrict your voice to that channel. And then, so the thing everybody's always harping on is setting up a whisper list that nobody fucking does, and the shot caller's always bitching at everybody, right? So to do that, you're gonna go up to Tools. You're gonna go to Whisper Lists, or you could do this hotkey that nobody's gonna fucking memorize. So Whisper Lists. It's going to open another window like this. So you'll set a new one, right? So these are my 2 that I use if I'm not the shot caller. So I got one to Willie for Sclavia, or if I am the shot caller. And you just assign different buttons. I like to use page up and page down, or the 4 arrow keys. Like if you're in group 9, you're gonna need to talk to group 10, group 8, and the shot caller, depending on what the fuck's going on, or your quad DPS. So I'll have 4 different ones set up to talk to different people. So you'll hit new, and so now you press whichever button you want to use. So for this example, we'll use the right arrow. So right arrow, right? So you can do replies back to people and stuff, but that's not really, we don't need to do that shit right here. So let's say we're going to act like I'm in group 9. So I'm going to set up a comm to group 8 to let them know we won, and we're going to be plussing in so they can look into top right and kind of get a benefit from that, right? So you'll go over here to the drop down. So you can either select an individual user that is logged into the TeamSpeak, or you can go here to anybody who's ever logged into the TeamSpeak under contacts, or in channels you can talk to a whole channel. So like you can set the whisper to a direct person, which is what you would do to talk to the shot caller, or if you're trying to talk to another group, you can select the channel. So let's scroll over. So we're in group 9. We're going to set the chat to group 8. So you'll select group 8. Double check your hotkey. Make sure that's right. You'll hit apply. Okay. So now we're
Channel
going to act like I'm
switched.
in group 9, right? My shot caller thing's running right now, so it's red. But
No whisper target
the
found.
way your hold on, let me turn it off. So the way it'll look like when you whisper to somebody. So now, like you see, it's dark blue and light blue depending on if you're talking or not. So now, when you hit your whisper key, you'll turn red.
No whisper target found.
And you'll see there is a red
No whisper
dot
target
over
found.
here beside who you're talking to. Now it says no whisper target found, but that's because
No
there's no
whisper
users
target
in the channel
found.
I'm talking to, right? If there were users in there, it wouldn't do that. Similar for like the shot caller thing.
Channel
If you're
switched.
shot calling, you think you set it up right, when you
No
hit it,
whisper target found.
if there are people in the channels, it'll light all of them up red, and you'll know whether or not it's working. Like if some of them aren't lighting up with the red dot on the right, then you need to redo it and make sure you have all the channels. That usually happens when somebody edits the layout of the TeamSpeak, like if you have a really complicated one, and you'll just go back into the like the whisper window and set it all up again. So like, let's say I
No
added all of
whisper
these,
target found.
and then somebody renamed it or deleted one or some bullshit. You just go in and make sure you select them all again. Um, so typically you want to have the point teams just talking to the shot caller in micros. You'll have the respawn caller talking to everybody, and they'll just sit up here and they'll have a push to talk that covers everybody, and they'll have a bunch of streams open in Discord, and they'll just tell people when respawn waves are coming. And you'll have the kill squads kind of talking to their close lanes back and forth, as well as quad DPS. That way, if they're getting plussed, they can let the shot caller or the other groups know that they need some assistance, that kind of stuff. Um, but that's just the basics. You set up the whisper list to tell the shot caller, hey, we have our kit, or hey, we're all fucking dead because we suck. And I mean, that's the long and short of it. It's really easy. You just need to know where the menu is. The next part I'm going to go over is like how to set it up for a shot caller, right? So for a shot caller, so I label my main comms. You can label it whatever the fuck you want. You set one hotkey. I have mine set to page up. We'll go over why it's page up in a little bit. You can set it to whatever you want as long as you make sure you change it in your script. So mine covers all the channels, so you just want it to cover all the channels when you hit the key. To make sure the whole army can hear you and you don't have to keep taking your finger off the controls to hotkey everybody, or like using one of your mouse buttons for your push to talk. Because I mean, I like to use my mouse buttons for my abilities. You know, there's no reason to waste that if you don't have to, right? So the way you pull it off is you get a script for AutoHotkey. You can download AutoHotkey. Mine's called Warcaller 1 here, right? I'm going to put an example of the script on the screen. Again, mine is set to page up, so it says page up here. If you use a different key, just type in that key's name here and save it. Doesn't matter what the key is. The script will still work. That's what the logo for AutoHotkey looks like. You can download it anywhere. Hang on. So you want to run this, right? So the way you get your hotkey to work is you go in the folder where you have your script. So mine's TeamSpeak shit, and you will hit F8 and then your hotkey.
No whisper target found.
And when you let go, your hotkey will stay running until you hit the hotkey again. So you can still hit other hotkeys without turning yours off. So like I can hit the right arrow and I still have my main comms going. So let's say Quad DPS doesn't like to hear me and you don't want them to have to mute you, right? So you can take them off of your shot caller like broadcast and have another whisper list, and you can hit it and talk to them while your other one is still broadcasting. Just make sure that if you hit the same key you used, that you go in and you start it up again. Because if like let's say I type page up, it's going to turn it off until I click in here and F8 page up again, right? That's all you got to do. I'm going to try to include a link to this the script so that you guys can copy paste this and you don't have to try to type it in or whatever the fuck yourself. But if you have any questions, let me know.